Hello to all the ladies that are tuning in, as well as a very special and warm welcome to Luzelle Fish. I am, Luzelle, so happy that I can have a conversation with you this afternoon because you are coming on board into our Blossoming Prosperity program. And I think it's just right that I introduce you officially and allow the ladies to see who you are and tell them a little bit more of what to expect. So welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I can't wait to be part of this program and meet everyone.
Yes, I can tell you that really the ladies that we've had in the program thus far are all amazing. They're all there for the right intentions, and we work so well together. And I just know that you're also going to love them. They're going to love you. So Luzelle, I think as starters, this is such a cliche question, but it's one of those that you have to ask, and that is, who is Luzelle? So don't you just want to tell us a little bit more about yourself?
This is my least favorite question because usually I'm the one that asks the question. So yeah, least favorite question, but yeah. So how far do you want me to go back, Lianne?
Oh, well, whatever you're comfortable with, doesn't matter.
Because I'm 46, so it's many years of history that I can pack into. So I grew up in a small town in Palaborba, so I'm mentioning that because that obviously is who you are. You know, you grow up a certain way, and that is where our conversation is going to lead to, our childhood memories.
Yeah.
And that is kind of what makes us. So small town in the generation where children are seen and not heard. So that obviously taught me to ask questions, to be still and to listen, because you're not allowed to have an opinion, or you wouldn't ask an opinion. So it took me many years to figure out that, or to know that I'm allowed to have an opinion, because I don't know, I'm sure you also grew up like that.
Absolutely, I can so relate to that.
Yeah, so only now when I look back and realize, oh, that is where I learned to listen, to observe, because you look at people's body language. Are you going to be in trouble? What's happening here? So small town girl in Palaborba, hot as hell. I don't know if anybody knows where that is. Very hot. Eldest of 3 children. So after school, I went to university only because the mine my dad worked at offered bursaries for the kids of the mine workers. So I'm very fortunate and privileged to be able to have had that. Otherwise, I don't know, we wouldn't have been able to afford a tertiary education. So off I went to the big city, and then got a bit of a culture shock. But not too much. Everybody was still kind of like Afrikaans, because it was Tikkies, University of Pretoria. I did a teaching degree only because I wanted to do educational psychology.
Okay.
And that led me then to the UK. So after my honours degree, I ended up in London. I was planning to go for a year. I was going to go for a year and learn how to speak English, travel, and make a lot of money. 9 years later, with husband and child, we came back from London and settled in Cape Town, where I started my practice. So I'm a mom of a teenager now. I think that actually I should have started with mom of teenager. That would have everything in my life at the moment. Mom taxi is a real thing. And yeah, I think I saw a Facebook post yesterday, wondering why nobody wrote a follow-up of what to be expected at age 13. I think there's what to expect when you're pregnant. So there's what to expect at age 13.
Yeah, that's a whole new season of your life. Yes. So yeah, Luzelle, I just you went overseas and you had all these ideas of becoming an educational psychologist. So then what happened?
Okay, so that quickly went by the wayside when I started teaching. I thought, oh, I want it for children. I want to work with children. I don't want to work with children. Don't want for children. So I realized then there, like, there's a lot of stuff with the parents and not the children. And then I started doing part-time studies in neuro-linguistic programming, EFT, hypnotherapy, hypnoanalysis, and a diploma in counseling and something. So in my training in the UK was quite wide, and I would say not in the overlapping of in the psychology paradigm, but exposed me to a whole different, world view or a view of human behavior, which I'm very thankful for, very, very thankful for. So my training or my qualification in the UK is psychotherapist. In South Africa, that doesn't exist. So you're either a psychologist or you are counselor, registered counselor. So my qualifications in South Africa is different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm very excited about, Luzelle, is that, so obviously in the Blossom and Prosperity program, we've got a certain methodology that we follow. The focus is to help women, grow or find their confidence, because I believe that in some instances, women's confidence got buried, is the analogy that I use, due to adult incidences. Some never developed it because of, past experiences as a child. And then from there on, once we firstly deal with the limiting beliefs around that, and then we teach assertiveness skills. Now, practicing what I'm preaching, and also coming with a little bit of neuroscience information and background and understanding, the only current known process to change neuropaths is through affirmations. Now, for those that listen to this recording and that don't know what neuropaths are, just a simple explanation is, it's the route that information follows in your brain, if I can put it that way. And all the thoughts that we have come from beliefs. And a limiting belief is a belief that don't serve us. So it's the typical thing of, I don't feel enough, I don't feel good enough, I feel inferior in certain situations, or I feel uncomfortable in certain situations. And that is obviously information that is stored in a certain way in our brains, and that dictates our behavior. So to change that, Luzelle and I know that the current known process is through affirmations. Now, Luzelle, you and I had this conversation where I said to you, I'm a very diligent student and I've practiced this for a long time. And my concern is the fact that it takes such a long time to make a slight difference in that neuropath, in that limiting belief. And especially for the ladies that do the program, my concern is that we are human beings. If we don't see results, we give up. And then people will say, no, but you spoke nonsense. It's not possible. It didn't work for me. So for a long time, I've been doing some research, read up a bit, and then I truly believe it was a godsend. I met you. And I'm going to be very honest. I literally prayed. I said, God, I need some magic here. We need some magic for these ladies, because it's not what God wants for us to suffer here on earth. We can't serve our purposes if we are suffering and we don't feel good enough. And lo and behold, I met you and I discovered that you actually have the magic.
Just checking my halo. It's my halo. My wing.
No, it's so brilliant. And so I'm going to allow you now to explain to the ladies your process of applied neuroscience that you use to actually make a rapid change in those beliefs.
So first of all, I think I heard you say that you only know a little bit about the brain or neuroscience. I do think you know a lot, though.
Thank you.
More than you know. So in 2016, I came across a training called Brain Working Recursive Therapy. And bear in mind that I'm trained in several modalities, hypnotherapy, NLP included. This is my preferred methodology or modality, if you would say. It's applied neuroscience, so it's in the neuroscience paradigm and not really in the psychology paradigm. So I would describe it as the Airbnb or the Uber of psychology, if you understand what it means. A disruptor in the field. Because it is so rapid and because it makes lasting, effective change and change to things that's previously thought cannot be changed. So I don't personally work with personality disorders, but I have colleagues that use this modality with, say, borderline personality, which, if you look at the research, there isn't much that you can do with personality, which is, I think, a miracle in itself. So I thank God every day for this, because what else we could have done, you know? So since 2016, I've been using this. It is, in short, creating new neural pathways or preferred neural pathways. So if we look at confidence and self-worth, we'll have a look at what contributed. Where did that belief start? Probably in childhood, you know, and sometimes we are aware of it. Often this is not such significant memories. It could be, see, remember as a child, we don't have critical thinking. We accept everything that's told to us. We accept everything that we see. We do not argue. We don't critically think about it. We just absorb everything. And if we are surrounded by caregivers, or, you know, significant others or siblings or teachers or friends at school that laugh at us or embarrass us or all sorts of things. It doesn't, like I say, it doesn't have to be a big thing. That can cause us to believe that we are not good enough, that there's something wrong with us, that there's something wrong with you. And with this applied neuroscience modality, we then can create a preferred response to that exact memory. So your brain has already made a pattern. It's automatic, how you're going to feel, behave, respond, or react to it, even though it happened many years ago. You don't sit here and choose now, when I think about it, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to feel embarrassed. It's already there. Even though it's 10 years ago, you can't choose. It's already been predetermined. And with this modality, we create a preferred response to those, that memory or that thought or that behavior. It's happened in the moment, so there's no practicing, there's no journaling, there's no meditating needed, even though those practices are good and it's helpful. With this modality is not needed, which is fantastic. You know, I'm not like you. I'm not that diligent. I'm impatient, very impatient, and I like a result, and I like a bit of instant gratification. I think that's why I like this modality so much. It's like quick, you know.
Yeah. I just want to make a comment here. Yeah. So obviously I tried Luzelle out because I need to be able to tell my clients what to expect. And I think, Luzelle, this is the amazing thing for me, is that, you know, when people speak about magic, it almost comes like as if it's a bit exaggerated. And I think what was really profound for me in the sessions that you and I did together is it is literally magic. And it again leaves me astounded in the way that God created us, that our brain can change, that we do not have to go through all the suffering, and that it can actually be so instant. So my question to you is that, and I know this is a question that everybody is waiting for, or an answer that everybody's waiting for. So now I've had a session with you. So what can I expect? What's going to happen afterwards?
Because your brain will still know that this thing happened. The memory still exists somewhere in your brain, but it's almost become dormant. So if you try to think about that, previously, before, say, the session, if you think about that memory or that incident, there's a certain feeling or behavior that it causes. After this, you will feel different. You will feel either nothing or a sense of relief or whatever you've chosen. If you chose to feel neutral or empowered or calm, that will be your preferred way of feeling. So the memory will still exist, but we've created a preferred neural pathway. So your brain will choose that neural pathway when you think about the unwanted memory.
Okay, that's great. So, sorry?
Does it make sense?
It makes sense. So I'm just going to rephrase that to check my understanding. So let's say, for instance, I have a memory of being embarrassed. So what I'm understanding is that you say, okay, so you're going to call up that memory. And I think this is what I like, is I don't have to relive through the memory. I don't have to share the details with you. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes. So that's something I wanted to add that I forgot about, is there's many incidents that you don't want to talk about. Like in traditional therapy, you'll have to go and just unpack it, discuss it, understand this angle from that angle. Look, and there is value in unpacking certain things, but with this modality, there's no need to. When there is molestation or sexual abuse, which unfortunately many people have experienced, you don't need to tell me any details. We can still create a preferred memory without
all the emotional. So it is literally just going back to the memory, and then what you do is, it's like you literally reprogram that memory into how you would have wanted it to be, or what you would want for your future. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, how would you respond to it? So, for instance, can I give an example?
Yes, please.
Okay, let me think. This is now, I don't know if this is not really related to self-worth. Now, this is just one that comes up in my head now. Perfect. So I had a client that she just mentioned something in the session. So I said, just close your eyes, let's do our thing. So she said to me, she had anxiety about using the toilet or public toilets in the mall. She could never use it because I don't know why. So she told me on the first day of grade 1, she said, her brother locked her up in the toilet, in the bathroom at home, and she couldn't get out. So how she then changed that memory was, so every time she thinks about it, she gets anxiety and she's claustrophobic, and that played out later in life, that she couldn't use the public toilet in the mall because there's no exit. Okay, she knows now why. There's no exit, there's no window, it's like not safe. Her brain associated that with danger and not being safe. So she changed her memory into, she took the key and she locked him out of the toilet or the bathroom, and she sat there laughing at him because he couldn't come in. So your brain accepts that as the truth, because whatever you put in your brain doesn't know what's the truth and what's not the truth. Okay? So if you imagine that you're eating a lemon, if you just imagine that, and you already start to get...
Yes, the feeling.
Yeah. Oh. There's a physiological response about a false thing. Just a thought. You can just look at a lemon. That's not even like, it's not real. So she then felt very empowered. She took the power back.
Yes.
Okay? And then went to go to the toilet in the mall. No problem.
Yeah.
Silly example, but very powerful.
I think, Luzelle, that was the other amazing thing that I experienced, is that there are incidents in our lives which we think are quite silly, or that we have, like you said, we have forgotten about them, and we actually have no idea what behavior they are causing. You know, the way that the brain stored that, as you said, there's like a negative meaning attached to it. I mean, I even think of things that we teased my dad about, and I never realized that the impact of that particular incident, that as an adult, I cognitively understand was not a big issue, but because I was so young, and as you say, you know, I didn't have the filters to make the right connections in my brain, it actually got stuck in my brain and left what I call a negative trigger. And that for me is always the thing about this kind of work, is that we are so unaware of the insignificant things that happen to us, but that is actually dictating the quality of our life. Which you can almost want to say fix in such an instance that is absolutely profound.
I think we mentioned about the generalization effect. I think I want to also mention that.
Yes, please tell us about that.
So say there's that incident that happened, and then neural pathways form around that and connect to that, because your brain associate going to the toilet with being unsafe, and it becomes a whole thing. Okay, I'm just using that example now. But with this modality, you don't have to go through every single bad memory that you have. Often those things are connected. So some of the memories or incidents that are connected to the worst one, they will go dormant, because we address the maybe the worst one or the earliest one. So all those neural pathways that are connected to that one memory go dormant, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
It's called a generalization effect. And you then, another client of mine, it's another toilet story, I don't know what's going on. She was also locked in. Not just locked in, she couldn't get out of the stall at work. So that's not a childhood memory, but as an adult, a lot of anxiety, just driving, and she was just very anxious. And when we had a chat, she mentioned that she can remember, I think it was New Year's Eve. She was at the office, there weren't many people. She happened to be at work, lucky winner of the New Year's Eve shift. And then she got stuck in the toilet stall. And then she couldn't get out, and she got freaked out, obviously. And I think she crawled underneath, and then she got out. And we rewind that. It's just kind of like, I can't remember even how she changed the memory to like a non-event, or there was somebody there who could just open it up for her. It wasn't a big deal. And then she mentioned afterwards to me that after a week or two after our session, she realized that this is one road in, I think it's Durbanville side. There's like a bridge, or I'm not sure. But she always used to get anxiety when she used to drive over this bridge. And she realized she doesn't got anxiety when she drives over the bridge. So the one has got really nothing to do with the other one. One is a driving thing, one is a toilet thing. But then she realized, oh, hold on a minute, and we didn't work on the driving anxiety. We only work on being stuck in a toilet. Yeah, that's just how it works. And we don't know. We don't know.
We don't know.
Which, because now remember, there's also new neural pathways formed from the new memory you create. You know, more preferred ones, better ones.
Yes.
Better. No, preferred.
More positive ones that actually don't, kickstart all that anxiety and the fears and the worries that we have. So it's amazing, again, how the brain works, that through working with one bad experience, you actually can cover more than one incident. So if I think of my own life and I have to start listing, the things that happened to me, I'm like, wow, this is going to take me a lifetime. But as you say, maybe 1, 2, 3, depending on what the issues are, and they're actually all covered, it's really amazing. So, and Luzelle, sorry, how long more or less is one session with you? What time frame do you work in?
prefer a 90 minute.
Okay.
Prefer a 90 minutes. So all my initial sessions are 90 minutes. And then depending on what's happening, do people need to take leave to come and see me? If they have to take leave, then we make it a 90 minute. Otherwise, you just kind of like catch up and then you just start and then you have to say, then you have to even finish the session again. So I would like to do as much as I can in a session.
Yeah.
So do you expect your brain to be, to have a workout? Workout. Some people do feel a bit tired afterwards. Some people fine. Some people feel like, oh, my brain's, a bit tired. Yeah, I say between 60 and 90 minutes.
Yeah, I know I had 90-minute session with you and it goes so fast anyway. 90 minutes, it feels so long, but it goes so fast. And it's actually amazing what one covers in the process. So Luzelle, I'm really excited to bring you on board because I really want women to be joyful. If I think about the roles that women play, as a one woman, you are a mom, you probably still a daughter to a mother, you might be a sister to a brother or a sister, you a cousin, there are so many, you're a female entrepreneur, or you work in an environment. We cover so many roles. And the one thing that I have realized is that in every sphere, every role that I am in, I can cause a ripple effect. And I can make such a big ripple effect if I'm comfortable with myself, if I'm confident, if I'm joyful, if I don't have all those, I call them issues, that is holding me back. And that is really, I know for you also, a focus point that, if we can live joyful and we can make a positive impact on those around us, and we can live meaningful and we can live a fulfilled life, why would we not want to do it?
Yes, so definitely, it's very close to my heart as well. And I'm very grateful to do this job. I think I feel privileged to be able to have people or women sit in front of me and share their heart and make an impact, and very grateful and very thankful and very looking forward and excited to work with all the blossom in prosperity. Blossom in prosperity.
And we are going to make them blossom. I know that. So,
yeah, so in case you haven't noticed that I'm Afrikaans. That's for the ladies listening, in case you haven't noticed the accent.
I'm so happy that you actually mention it, because if I look at, and I'm generalizing now, but if I look at the women that come through the Blossom and Prosperity doors, most often, and I say we, come from either a conservative background, a strict background, circumstances where we were taught that typical thing of children are seen and not heard, you don't have a voice. And in the process, we sacrifice so much. So, and I come from an Afrikaans background as well, and I love my ancestors and my background, but I think the fact that we grew up in a slightly more restricted, if that's the correct word, environment, also helps that both you and I can understand and have empathy for people when they come from those backgrounds, where they gave their power away, where they didn't have a voice. So it is indeed a privilege and a blessing to help.
They didn't know we had power. I mean, like, some even gave our power away. They just didn't know we had power.
Exactly. Exactly. I'll put my hand up, first one to say I can resonate with that so well. Luzelle, thank you so much for this amazing conversation. And for the ladies out there that are considering the Blossom and Prosperity program, so Luzelle will come in very early in the program so that she can set the foundation for moving forward, so that by the time you get to the modules that will teach assertiveness skills, you know that you are in a far better space. My experience is that when I trust myself, when I believe myself, when I've got my power back, like Luzelle says, you will be far more open to actually practice the tools and use the tools that we are giving you inside the program to live that fulfilled, assertive life and impact people around you completely positively as well. One of the things, Luzelle, that I'm sure you know as well, inside the Blossoming Prosperity program, I also want women to find their purpose. We are created by God with a purpose, and often through instances in life, through trauma in life, through the fact that we didn't even know that we have power, we either have not discovered that, or we are in denial of it, or we don't know what it is. And I think that is the beauty, that once they've done with this program, limiting beliefs would be sorted out, you will have assertiveness skills, and you will be ready to really live a meaningful life. So thank you again for sharing with us, and we are looking forward to working with you and make this world a better place. So thank you.
Can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you.